What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be live reacting to a video that I found called Are We Even Living Anymore or Just Working Until We Die? And I thought this sounds like a great video to live react to. I think it relates to a lot of my previous videos. And yeah, what a beautiful scenery. And I've watched a little bit of the start of this video, and I thought the guy was making some great points. And yeah, so let's jump right into it. I hope y'all enjoy. I'm going to leave the link in the description, and let's get right to it. It's a beautiful view.
Have you ever thought about just how consumed we are with work in our lives? Have you ever just stopped and thought about how much of our lives revolves around working? Most of the time, we don't even think about it because we're just busy doing it. We're either at work, going to work, coming home from work, at home worrying about work. You know what I mean? Like we just are so wrapped up in this existence that revolves around work that we don't even stop to think that like there's something else out there. There's something more to life. That work, excuse me, should only be a part of life. Being
Not in America.
on the internet and making videos about topics like work and quitting your jobs and things of that nature has really opened my eyes to just how programmed we are and brainwashed we are to believe that like we have to work, right? I got a comment from someone yesterday. I did a little short. I was just sitting in my car and I did a short, and I was like, "Hey, there's so much more to life, than what we spend most of our life doing." And you think that would be something that everybody could get behind? You think that would be a statement that everybody could get behind? But people actually argued with me about it. Someone commented and was like, well, who would do all those jobs? Like who would fix your car and who would nurse you and who would, fix your food and all this if we live like that? And I just stopped and I thought, and I'm like I don't blame people for having that kind of mindset because I know like they've just been subjected to the brainwashing and the programming their entire life, and they've probably just been so busy trying to like do what they thought they had to do to survive. They never had the time to stop and
See, what he just said right there, that people are so busy doing what they think they have to do to survive, they are doing what they have to do to survive. And I think that's the biggest problem with this country right now is that wages haven't kept up with the cost of living, so everybody is being forced to work more than they should have to. Like, most people are working like 50, 60 hours a week because they have to. If we didn't have to work so much, um, we could experience more life and, live our lives a bit more. And I know what he's saying, like, the people that were like, oh, well, if who's going to fix your car, who's going to do this and that, like, that's a great point. I don't think everybody can just quit their jobs, but I think that in America specifically, we need more of a work-life balance.
think about like just because the society we live in currently is set up to where damn near everybody has to work and you have to work most of your life,
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that's the way it has to be. You mean to
I
tell me,
agree.
with all the technological advances we've had and all the things we've been able to do, you mean to tell me that if we all put our minds to it, we couldn't come up with a system and a
Exactly,
society where,
exactly.
like, work wasn't the number one thing?
We could, but we live in capitalism. So the rich benefit from us working like slaves. That's the problem, is that the top 1% doesn't want us to be able to work less. They want more profits. They want more gains in their businesses and everything. They don't want us to work less. They want this. Like, the system is working exactly as intended.
We couldn't come up with a society where, like, it was more living your life, enjoying your life, and we
We
worked
could.
just as much as we had to. Or
Bro, we used to. Even like 1700 like peasants and literal like slaves used to work less. Like And I think it was like the 1800s or 1700s, like the average slaves or peasants or farmers, they only worked like 120 to 160 days of the year. Like people used to be able to have way more free time to live their lives. Like the amount of hours that we work now is completely unnatural. It's only been like this recently for like the past 100 years.
We did the jobs we enjoyed doing. You know, that's always my response when people are like, who would do this job and who would do that job? There would be someone to do it because there's people who like doing that. There's people who love being mechanics. There's people who love being nurses. There's people who love pretty much any job out there. Society has tried to make it seem like some jobs are better than others. And that's why some jobs pay more than others. And there's this whole kind of social system, and there's jobs that are looked down on. I get it. Like,
And some of those jobs that are looked down on are extremely stressful and way harder than the jobs that pay more.
I work in housekeeping in hotels. Everybody looks down on me. You know what I mean? You want to see some people's face change? Watch me tell them what I do for a living when I'm working, and just watch how like their face changes, and they try to find something. Oh, that's not, you know what I mean? Like, but it's just society has said like that is a less than job. Even if I'm doing that job and making the same money as or more money than the person I'm talking to, that person will feel better than because society has told them that job is less than. And we just think it's normal.
A perfect example of that is cops, police officers. They don't get paid nearly as much as they should. Or teachers. Teachers go through so much stress and they're literally teaching our future generations like they're so important and they don't get paid like anything. Police officers are getting, they have the threat of being shot. They are having to constantly physically, tussle with people. They have the opportunity or possibility of being stabbed by dirty needles or just getting there's all kinds of dangers to being a police officer. They don't get paid a lot. Not nearly as much as they should. In my opinion, a police officer should be paid way more than what they get paid.
Once again, like all this stuff around work, none of it really makes sense. We've just been told that that's how it has to be. That's the way it is. That's how it has to be. And if you believe that, you just continue living your life in a manner that like reflects that. And you'll even get to the point, like people do in my comment section all the time, where you'll argue for that. When someone says something like, hey, we should work less, you're so wrapped up in the society and the system that you'll like it makes you feel so uncomfortable. You got to get down there and comment and argue for working as much as we work now. And it's just like, no, like work should be a part of life. I'm
Mm.
not saying don't work. Like, I enjoy working, but I want us to, at the very minimum, envision a society where not just like the top 1%, not just like the wealthy get to live a life of like leisure.
Yeah.
I want everyone to like live a life of leisure and like work when they gotta work. You know what I mean? And I'm wondering if this whole AI thing might.
Bro, and one of the biggest problems with our system in place now is that like the people that already have the money, say you have like $5 million, $5 million, you can take that money and you can invest it into like high yields, what do you call it? High interest savings accounts. You can, invest it into S&P 500, gold, silver. Like you can invest it into a bunch of things that are low risk, like low reward or interest, but with like $3 to $5 million, you could put them into a bunch of high yield savings accounts. You could put like literally $5 million into like just complete low risk investments, and you can make like 300 400K a year just off of the money you already have without even taking big risks. So all the rich people are making so much money off their assets and their investments and everything, while all the poor like us are sitting here trying to work like slaves just to get crumbs. So it's like the wealth distribution and this system is just making it so disadvantaged, like so like the lower class and middle class are at such a disadvantage. It's just ridiculous. And that's why we're all stuck. Like that's why we're all having to work so much because the rich keep getting richer, our currency keeps getting more devalued, and the cycle just continues. And I feel like over the last 50 years, you can see it getting worse and worse to the point where we're at now, where everybody has to work so much just to survive because of this system in place. And as to what he's saying, is he's pointing out that so many people defend the system and are so like they can't even fathom like us not working as much or just, having work not consume our entire lives. It's crazy. The brainwashing in this country, and not even just this country, like the entire world, like it's just crazy.
Might be an opportunity for us to like restructure work. Like work is broken. People ain't making enough money. Like nobody likes their jobs. Like, can we use this AI revolution? Maybe, excuse me, maybe it's a positive thing. We don't have to, instead of just sitting here and being scared of AI and just being like, oh, it's going to be Skynet, the end of the world, which is always funny to me when like people take a movie which someone like came up with and say that's what's going to happen in real life. Anyway, um, instead of being afraid of it, maybe we can use this to like reshape work. Maybe this is an opportunity, but we got to do something. This is not sustainable. People working harder and harder for less and less money is not sustainable.
Hmm.
If we barely making it, what do you think is going to happen with our kids, our grandkids?
Exactly.
Those of us who have kids and have grandkids, you know? And it starts with us even just allowing ourselves to envision what a world would look like where we spent 75% of our time. I'll say 50. I'll give it 50. If we could spend 50% of our time doing the things we wanted to do, spending time with loved ones, and then the other 50 like working.
God
And
forbid.
hopefully working at things we enjoy doing. What would that world look like? Imagine if you worked 3 days out the week and had 4 days off. Just think about that.
The dream.
You could even break it up. Work a day, off 2 days. Work a day, off 2 days. I mean, like, what would that be like? If you had 2 days off and then you worked 1 day, you had to go into work and deal with them people for 1 day, then you had 2 days off. I gotta go in for my day, then I'll be back home. We can hang. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely believe if we wanted to, we could create that world. I don't limit.
We could, but the powers at bay would not allow it. The 1% would not allow it because we're a capitalistic country. They want us to keep working like slaves. That's all there is to it, literally.
Humans. I know we're gonna have, the small sub percentage of humans who are greedy and power hungry and murderous and all that type of stuff. But I think most of us are just decent, good people. We just want to enjoy ourselves. We like beauty, like you see here. We like love. We like smiles, you know. And I think we've just created a world somehow where like that stuff is put on the back burner and us slaving away and making peanuts has become the normal.
For real.
And we all know that like it's a small subset of humanity.
Bro, that's one of the biggest reasons why I keep making these videos. Even if I only get 20, 30 views, like at least hopefully it breaks through to some people. Like this guy, at least, this guy's got what? How many views this guy got? 231K views. He's got 230K subscribers. So at least he's in the past 2 weeks he's reached out to 31K views or people. Like that's awesome. We need to spread more awareness to this. Like how else can we do it? Like we have to spread awareness. Like hopefully somehow we can reshape our future and change the system because it needs to be changed. Eventually it is not going to work. Eventually something major is going to happen because people can't just keep living like this. Like we need to bring awareness to it. We need to talk about it. You know what I mean? That's why I love videos like this. That's why I love live reacting to these types of videos because it's genuinely how I feel. I can't help but think about this stuff sometimes.
Who's controlling millions and billions of people who are unhappy when it comes to work and a lot of times our living situation and our financial situation, and yet we continue to allow it to happen. And I'm including myself in it. I'm including
Exactly.
myself in it. But the one thing I do allow myself to do is a not work all the time. You know,
At least you're
I
bringing
I
awareness.
designed my life in a manner that like there can be long stretches of time where I don't have to work. And I say that because like I want other people to do the same. That's why I love talking to like young people. And I'm like, before they rope you into a life of like responsibility and debt and all this other stuff, where like you are going to have to play their game and you are going to have to work their 50, 60 hours a week just to stay afloat. Before you do all that, realize that there's another option.
Exactly. He's bringing awareness to it. If more people stop playing the game of just getting buried in student loan debts and mortgages and all the debt they want us to be put into, consumerism, capitalism, if we can stop doing that and stop playing the game so much, it's going to make the system crumble. Not only that, but I mean, there's more to life than just working like a slave and then retiring at 70, 75 years old, old and decrepit, and being able to barely enjoy your life for like 10, 5 years. Like, I don't know how more people aren't waking up to this and just being outraged.
And even for people who maybe went down that road, realize you can turn around, go back to the crossing and go down another road. We don't have to just mindlessly buy into the way the world is now and just assume it has to stay that way. And even if the world does stay that way, you don't have to keep doing that. I don't have to keep doing that. We don't have to keep doing that. You can decide from this point on, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna work as much as I got to work until I'm able maybe to work less, smart enough to figure that out. But even then, while I am working the way I have to work now, my mindset is going to change. And I'm going to realize this is not my life. It does not have to be that way. I don't have to just like give in, give up. So many people just giving up. I think the reason why so many people like sometimes argue for the current system is that they've given up and like they don't see the point in like trying to fight. And you know, but you got to stand for something, so I guess you just stand for the man. I don't know. I think maybe it's a coping mechanism. Maybe like if they didn't stand up for the way things are, they would have to look at themselves in the mirror and admit that like something's wrong and maybe you need to take some action. Like I don't really care what people do with their lives. Do what you want. You know, believe what you want to believe. I'm just here for those of us who like realize something's wrong and we've got to that point where it's just like I just can't continue to just be a mindless drone in the system. You know what I mean? Like I
Bro, that's how I feel. I literally just feel like a mindless drone on the system. Like, you couldn't have described it any better. I don't know how more people don't feel like this. How are more people not talking about this? It's almost like everybody just wants to ignore it and pretend like it doesn't exist. Like, nobody wants to talk about this. I don't know.
I have to do something different. And I'm just here to tell you there are alternative ways. There are different ways. Get on the internet. Research has never been easier. Get on the internet. You got your Googles, you got your Chat GPTs. You know what I mean? You can literally type in, I don't want to have to work 40 hours a week anymore, but I need to make X amount a month to pay my bills. What are some alternative things I can do to make that much money so that I can stay home? Like you literally can type in.
This is exactly why, or one of the main reasons why I'm trying to make YouTube videos, is because I really, one, I enjoy making YouTube videos. It's creative. It's like a fun hobby, something I can do on the side when I'm not working. But two, it's a way that I can possibly escape wage slavery, you know? And I think that a lot of us just get home from work and we watch Netflix and we play video games and we're so worn out from working that we don't try to figure, or a lot of people don't have their own side gigs, or you know what I mean? They don't do their own things to try to escape wage slavery, or not have to work the rest of their lives until they're old and decrepit. Like, I don't know. I just don't know how people like can do it. Like, I'm 34 and I already feel like I already think like in the back of my head like, "Oh my God, I might have to do this for another 30 years?" Like, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't think anybody wants to.
exactly what your situation is and get answers. If it doesn't give you the answer you want right away, you can ask. Nah, I've done this many times. I'm like, I don't like that answer. That answer is too generic. Can you go more in depth? And it will remember, your queries. You can come back a week later. Okay, let's pick that back up. Let's go into some more things. You know what I mean? Like it has never been easier to figure out an alternative way. And that's not to say the actual, applying it or the actual doing it isn't going to be hard. You know what I mean? That's not going to say it may not take some years to put things in order the way you want to put them. I'm not saying it's going to be. It's like,
I just want to say one thing. For this guy to be able to sit here and talk about this off the top of his head is just amazing. Like, this guy is awesome. This video is amazing. Y'all need to subscribe to Timothy Ward. I mean, this is a really good video.
easy. I'm just saying it's never been easier to like formulate a plan. And people are always like, Tim, why don't you give me specifics? I can't give you specifics because like I don't know you and your situation. That's why I just give motivation. I leave it to much more intelligent people to tell you actual moves and things of that nature. I'm just here with motivation, just saying if you're looking around at your life now and the relationship you have with work is not working for you, we have options. There are alternatives. We don't have to believe what or allow other people's opinions about the job market to make us fearful. You know, the problem I see so much is like we watch the news and we listen to other people talking about things they saw on the news, and we, instead of doing our own research, and instead of seeing if like, hey, if the job market is actually bad where we're at, or if the job market is bad in the field we're in, we just immediately like, oh, the job market is bad, I could never find another job where maybe I work less. Just got to stay at this job. There's a reason that's a news story that gets pushed. You ever ask yourself that? Why does the news talk about the job market so much? There's so many problems out there they could be talking about. But they push job market's bad, job market's bad, job market's bad, job market's bad, job. Once again, it's that programming. Stay at the job you're at. You're lucky to have the job you have. Stay at the job you're at. They want you to be fearful to try.
Bro, I've never thought about that, and that's so true. Not only do they fearmonger us with the job market, like he's saying, but they also enslave us through debt. You know, when you got that mortgage, when you get them car payments, when you get them student loans, when you get all that stuff, they know that the employees are gonna have you by the cojones. You know what I mean? Like, it's perfectly designed.
Anything else. We don't have to like find the world a certain way and find a certain prevailing mindset in the people around us and adopt that mindset and think the world has to stay that way. You don't have to be like them. We don't have to be like them. That doesn't mean we have to go marching in the streets with signs. I think one of the best ways to the best forms of revolution is a quiet revolution of one. I'm going to figure my stuff out. Before I go out and try to save the whole world, I'm going to figure my stuff out. I'm going to rebel against the system in my own way. I'm going to use the system, break free from the system. I'm going to decide, like, I'm not going to be like this. I'm not going to be broke and miserable and wore out and tired my entire life. I'm not. And I don't care if everybody around me says that's just the way it is. I don't care if everybody else around me just like accepts it and they just keep doing that. I'm not doing it.
Bro, that's the crazy thing is everybody accepts it. Everybody. It pisses me off. Like, nobody just sees the problem with this. Like, bro, I don't know.
And here's the beautiful thing. You have the rest of your life to figure it out. And if you are stubborn If you, all the wise men and women throughout history, all the holy people, they've all said stuff along these lines. Like, if you are stubborn and you just decide that, like, this is the course I'm going to take, you can move mountains. You can achieve whatever. It just starts with the belief of, like, this doesn't have to be my life. Like, this is my life. This is my life. This does not have to be my life. It is my life. I can decide what it's going to be. I'm smart enough. I'm intelligent enough. I think I got enough time to figure out something different. Your life does not have to revolve around work. Nothing wrong with work. But your life does not have to revolve around it. And I firmly believe, like, it is possible to live and have all these pieces of your life and work be one of those pieces. And it provide the income you need to live, or part of the income you need to live. Maybe you have some other forms of income coming in too. But, like, it can be a part of your life. But I don't think our whole life needs to be alarm clock, get up, go to work, get off work, worried about work on the couple of days off you have,
Bro, for real.
4 days off a year to do a couple.
Bro, this guy is literally just preaching the choir. Like, this is exactly how I feel.
No. I want us all to just, like, live and feel in control of our life. And just know that, like, there is a greater purpose or reason why we were here. No matter how or why you think we're here, I don't think anyone would argue, who hasn't been brainwashed, that we were just put here to work.
Bro, we were put here to be social beings. Like, we're supposed to be in tribes. Like, for over 300k years we lived in tribes. We contributed to each other. We hunted, we socialized, we had little, like, talents or whatever that we would contribute to the tribe. Maybe one person is very good at making arrowheads, maybe one person is very good at making clothes, maybe one person is very good at making herbal medicine, and then we all just stuck together and formed social echo chambers, you know what I mean? Like, little social groups. That's how humans are supposed to be. We're supposed to be social animals. We're not supposed to go to some job and just be a robot for 40 to 50, 60 hours a week and then come home and scroll endless TikTok and watch Netflix, watch other people live their lives in movies and if you're lucky have a wife or a girlfriend, or like nowadays people's friendships are just like nobody hangs out anymore. We're all connected, but we're all super disconnected. Like, we're all on our phones half the time when you go to any kind of social event. Like, the social camaraderie of being a human is just completely gone. It's gone. And especially in America. Like, my wife is Colombian. When I go to Colombia, I see that people are way more social. Their neighbors know each other. They have get-togethers. They hang out outside. Like, I'm sorry, they're not as focused on materialism and working like a slave, and they don't, like, just associate people's values to how much money they have and how hard they work and blah 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 blah. Like, this is not natural. America is not natural. That's why depression is through the roof. That's why, like, people are going around and shooting people. Like, that is literally the reason why mass shootings are through the roof. Because this system is not natural. It's not human. This is not how humans have lived for the past hundreds of thousands of years. Like, I don't understand how we're not all rioting in the streets about it. Like, this is not normal.
Whether you believe in God or the Big Bang, I don't think either one of those wanted us to just come here and work. If it was that, like, the world would have started out full of factories.
Exactly.
Adam and Eve would have been in sweatshops from the beginning. You know what I mean? So, like, obviously that's not it. I just want all of us to kind of figure out, even if we don't figure out why humanity's here, but figure out for ourselves, like, why am I here? What is my calling? What do I want to do with my life? And then do that.
Bro, this is an amazing
and then just
video.
work when we have to. Love y'all. Talk to y'all later.
Bro, amazing video. Like, honestly. I just don't know how, like, these videos, like, this video was just like therapy to me. Like, this guy spoke so much of what I think about on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Like, it's just he doesn't realize it, but he's bringing so much awareness to the problem with the system that we live in. And I hope y'all enjoyed it just as much as I did. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna leave the link in the description. I'm gonna even try to collaborate with him. I think he's amazing. Hopefully I can get a collaboration with this guy because his videos are amazing, and I think I'm gonna live react to some more. But yeah, I hope y'all have a blessed day. It's Sunday right now, and the recharge day. So tomorrow's Monday, gotta go right back to work. Well, anyway, have a blessed day, y'all. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and there'll be many more to come. Peace.